Hello and welcome to the From the Spirit World podcast, a legendary Avatar The Last Airbender and the Legend of Korra podcast for overlyanimated.com. This is the FTSW Rewatch, the definitive Avatar fans rewatch from the biggest Avatar fans you know. We'll be reflecting on Avatar and Korra almost 20 years, I think at this point past 20 years later, after being huge fans of Avatar while it originally aired.
We're
I'm
old.
even older now. We're aging through this rewatch even. I'm your host Dylan, and
Yes.
today I'm joined by Delaney
Hey, y'all.
and Jeff.
Howdy.
Yes, this we today we've reached after a little bit of a pause. We've reached Appa's Lost Days, Lake Laogai, and the Earth King in our book 2 of our Avatar rewatch here at From the Spirit World. We'll be going through Avatar season 2, 3 episodes at a time. Each installment with just the finale coming up with those 2 episodes. Search for From the Spirit World or Overly Animated anywhere to subscribe to either feed or our dedicated FTSW rewatch feed to get all of these podcasts. A change here. We are not on video this time. These last 2 for book 2, we won't be on video. We will see for book 3. My video setup got a little bit disturbed with the death of Skype, but we'll
Rest in
reevaluate for
peace,
book
right?
3. But you can still find the audio on youtube.com/overlyanimated. Yep, if you're listening on the podcast feed, you're getting the full version there as well. We will be in full spoiler territory for all of Avatar and Korra throughout this rewatch, regardless of what episodes are being discussed in the podcast. Send your questions and comments to us to read on upcoming podcasts. Podcast at overlyanimated.com. Yes, this is the first one of these in a little while. We're going to be trying to finish off book 2 here in not too long, and then we will see before book 3. I'll try to get more of the gang back together for book 3. People are busy. But I'm very excited to get into these 3 episodes, as it's all bangers in book 2. So more
True.
exciting episodes to talk about, including Appa's Lost Days, a very interesting one to revisit our opinion on. Lake Laogai, a classic, and The Earth King, a lot going on there. Delaney, what did you think rewatching these episodes?
So I had to watch Appa's Lost Days under duress. I told Dylan I wasn't going to do it. And then Dylan was like, "You sure?" And I was like, "Fine."
Is that really
It was
duress if
just,
that's all it took? Are you sure?
it was under duress.
Okay. Now explain the duress. This
Um,
is just an emotional episode for you?
yes, it's just emotional. It helped. I did not watch it by myself. I made sure Tanya was home, and we were both like, "This is horrible." Yeah, it's just it's emotional, and then also, I did recently lose a pet, and it is upsetting. I did have my Appa plush with me, and I've had my Appa plush since I was 12. So, like, I love Appa. I actually plan on getting an Appa tattoo. So it's like we love Appa, and this episode sucks. Like, it's a good episode, but it hurts your soul deeply. Um. Also, I don't even think I've seen like Laogai that many times. Like, there's no telling what watch of this for me was like Laogai. Like, I haven't seen it as much as I've seen, let's say, every other episode of Avatar.
Interesting. Well,
Right. And
what'd you
then
think?
it's it's not as because when you think about it in like the history of the show, and like it's a pivotal episode, but then really it's a little lackluster held up to that um conceptually, I guess. I mean, I think the brainwashing like resolves itself a little too easily. Sokka is just like, "You've been brainwashed," and it's like, where did you get that idea? Like
Yes.
you know what brainwashing is? Like,
It's a good
and
point.
that kind, because I think,
We'll
I
talk
mean,
more about it. How about the Earth
right,
King?
right. And the Earth King, okay, I didn't have a problem. Also, I love all these episodes. They're great. Had a great time. My main issue is that the last half of the Earth King is me going crap, crap, crap because I know Azula is coming, and I'm like, no, like I'm just like flipping out the whole time. And then of course when they're like, "Oh, we'll just go to the." Also, it's really funny watching them like bust into the palace because it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like they are just like destroying these men. Like they are just like, and we get to see a lot of Toph earthbending. It's great. I mean, Aang is earthbending. It's great. They are just absolutely. There's like they like defeated like 100 guys. Like it's absurd. Like, and I enjoyed it a lot. And then it is funny. Like they get in there and he's like, "Why should I talk to you? You literally just like beat up all of my guards." Also, I just hate Long Fang and his stupid
Are you a big
face.
Earth King fan? The himself?
I am. I made his design is fun. His outfit is fun. He has a stupid little hat. He is like kind of like an obnoxious character. Like I mean, you've just been stuck. You're kind of useless, and he does end up being mostly useless.
I feel like I remember us being tepid on the Earth King himself. I feel like we were like,
He's
at
just
the time,
a
I don't know if
dude.
he was
Like
anyone's favorite.
if we talk about like like adults in the show and like other monarchs, like I mean Boomy's like the clear favorite, right? Like Boomy's cool. I mean, the Earth King does have his bear.
Yes.
Like
Important.
that's cool.
I do think he's
It's
supposed to
important.
be just a dude, which I feel like stands out more as we're
He
older.
is.
He's just
He's
supposed to
just a
be like a
dude. And
30s guy, like
yeah, like and he's never been outside of the palace. Like he doesn't know anything. That's fine. I think maybe I wonder what would have happened if maybe they would have made him younger.
yeah, it's interesting.
Like
Could have been a kid
granted, it
king.
is more impactful, I think. Yeah, like they've been manipulating this adult versus like,
Yeah. No,
oh,
that's
we were
it's a good
adulting.
point. It is an interesting decision there. Okay, we'll talk more about Quay, right? I think
Oh my god, I want you to know that if you would like
Quay
ask me
or
what his name was,
QA. I am like pretty sure. Now
I'm pretty sure it's Quay.
they did not say his name. Yeah, I don't believe in
No,
these episodes. I just remember for some reason.
I don't think they. I was like, I don't think they ever say it. I don't know why we know that.
I think they'll say it at some point.
No, I don't
He'll
think
be
so.
back at some point. Jeff, what did you think rewatching these 3 episodes?
So it's funny. I had some work things come up, so I actually just watched these over the last like hour and a half before this show, so they're kind of fresh.
Nice.
Um, it's these 3 I think are my favorite out of season 2, which is
Wow, all
like
3?
That's a call.
I,
This is a hot take.
it's a great run of episodes. Or maybe I'd say like eh, if I had to pick a set of consecutive 3 episodes, these would be the top 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, like Appa's Last Days. Oh yes, emotional. I did tear up over parts of it. We'll say.
It's brutal.
Yeah. Um, let's see. The what the reason I go back to Lake Laogai and Earth King is for the fight scenes, which are top tier.
Sure.
Like them, haha, in their element. Wink, wink. Got all the guys. Yeah, and yeah, the color schemes, like the opening, like the color palette they chose for the opening of Earth King, was very nice. It's like, oh, it's like sunset.
Yeah,
with
no, it is. It's
purples.
very striking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as far as like what I think about Earth King as a guy, yeah, pretty tepid. Like how he ended up like rounding out this season, like, or I no, the first episode 1 of season 3. It's like, okay, bye. Don't really care about you.
I forgot he's in the
No.
beginning, so we'll get there. That's good.
Yeah.
He's in somewhere else. He's in book 3, right? After that.
Well, yeah, because he like runs off. He's like, I'm gonna go explore the world.
Oh,
Yeah, did we see him after that? I can't remember.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm looking. Okay, we'll cover it all. That's good though. I like
Yeah.
that take. That's the best run of episodes because that's what I feel like I originally thought was the Bossing Say arc. I've always said, peak Avatar. This is this. I think this is the time to revisit that take. So I'll come back to that in a second. But I've always loved Bossing Say arc so much. That being said, what I did not love originally was Appa's Lost Days. So this is a fun original take to introduce. I think if you go back and listen to some of those podcasts, I said Appa's Lost Days. It's boring. It commits the cardinal
Oh my
sin. I
god.
believe this was my take. The cardinal sin of a television episode is if it's boring, not if it's bad. So so this is what I said when I was younger. So I think Appa's Lost Days is worse than The Great Divide. That was my hot take.
That's crazy.
That was my hot take.
Very spicy take.
Yeah, and look, was I hot taking before that term even existed? Maybe. But
I think so.
I have to say, I rewatched. I didn't know what I would think. I thought I would still not think it was that good, but I have to say, I do think this is a good episode. I was
Oh my God,
impressed.
it's so much better than The Great Divide. It's
It
crazy
is.
that
It
you
is
had
so
that
much
opinion.
better than The Great Divide. And can I hot
Wait.
take? Let me give you a new Appa's Lost Days hot take. Not really that hot. This is better than Tales of Ba Sing Se.
I agree with you. That's correct.
Yeah,
I was
I mean,
also having
a
that
lot of
thought.
people love Tales of Ba Sing Se, but I do think Appa's Lost Days is a little boring. So that's the worst part of it. That being said, I was just very impressed with, a lot of the ethos of it, but also just the integration into all the plots. I kind of didn't remember how much this is like a facilitator episode to everything going on. I wonder if they arrived at the idea to do this episode because of there's just too much going on and they kind of needed
If
something
you
to connect
told me
everything.
Guru Pratik, if you would have asked me and you've been like, Delaney, what episode is Guru Pratik introduced in? I would not have been able to tell you.
I didn't remember off the top of my head either. Yeah, there's important Pratik stuff.
I was like, what?
I didn't necessarily remember
I would have got this question wrong in Avatar trivia.
Well,
Ali's screaming somewhere.
Yeah. I didn't necessarily. I knew all this off the top of my head, though. I didn't also remember the Kyoshi Warrior stuff here. I think.
Oh, I remembered that, and I was screaming the whole time. I was like, "No, this is where it happens." No.
Yeah, I think it's very ambitious, and from my current perspective, the most impressive thing about this episode, I think, is that it's like an Appa POV episode where without, for the most part, anthropomorphizing Appa.
Yes.
Which the short philosophy version is I think it's like good to let animals be uh for us to care about animals without needing to make them like humans, and like most kids movies like make them talk and stuff. Appa's very much an animal here and has realistic reactions, and I think they communicate a story through that without anthropomorphizing him. I think it's very impressive. The only downside though is that I feel like they feel the need to bring in a lot of human perspectives here, which kind of are some of the best parts of the episode. Suki, Patik. But I do. Part of me wonders if there's a version of this episode with no humans talking, no human POVs coming in, just Appa kind of reacting to people. And I wonder if it would have been better somehow, even if those are good parts of the episode.
So part of what I was going to say is actually based on that was that. So at first, when I was watching the episode, I thought the little boy was really stupid, and then I thought about it some more. Because this episode isn't just about, and part of I also think the episode being boring and the monotony is part of the point because of like what Appa's going through. But so you have the little boy and you have Suki, and I think the reason you have to have that little boy is because we're not anthropomorphizing Appa, and also this episode isn't just about Appa or Aang looking for Appa. It's also about Appa's bond with Aang.
Yes, and I actually don't mind the boy because I don't think he takes over the episode. I think it's like very well integrated into Appa. I think once Suki comes in, I do think it shifts a little bit, to doing other things. I
think that's mainly just like Suki's just there so that Azula can like beat her up and take her clothes. It's like
such a Suki. She's only there to get beat. I mean, actually, that's the opposite of a Suki, which I think we've talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a good point. How can Suki be a Mary Sue if she gets beat up by Azula here?
Right? Like, it's honestly like the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah. So there's a lot. Appa's Last Days way more impressive than I remember. We can talk even more about it, but yeah,
so much happens in it. Like, it's for the kind of episode it is. Like, so much happens.
Yeah. By the way, I
think it makes the how long we spend without Appa worth it. Because it sucks the whole time without Appa, and then I think
it's a good payoff to this arc and to a lot of the emotions going on. I remember last year I was watching the Lord of the Rings TV show, The Rings of Power, and one of the episodes starts. It was like one of the characters' horse's perspective for like over 5 minutes.
Oh my God,
the horse's perspective,
amazing.
And I'm like, oh my God, they're doing an Appa's Lost Days, and no, it's not the whole episode. It stops after like 7 minutes, but like.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, wow, we're gonna Appa's Lost Days this. I wonder if this episode has a big influence on other shows, if the animal perspective
Has
stuff.
to, right?
I'm sure there's some before this as well, but it's probably a major influence. Lake Laogai, this lived up to my memories. I understand some of Delaney's criticisms, and I had the same criticisms, so we'll talk about it. That being said, I think Lake Laogai is one of the best episodes of the show. I thought that before. I do think that again. It was very interesting rewatching how fast it moved, though, and like how many things just like I don't know. It struck me that this episode just introduces Toph being a human lie detector, just like very randomly and abruptly, and then it's just a
Yes.
thing, and it's just like, okay, this is a
Yeah,
part of
no,
Toph
that
now.
also, I was like, we know this is an important feature for character, and they just
Hmm.
literally just like shoehorned it into this episode, and this is the episode where like, yeah, like Toph does that. Like,
Yeah,
really?
I do think this episode is fairly shoehorned, as it's a fair like, but it's also great, and you have finding the Appa. There's these double misdirects that they do that are so iconic with
Uh,
Zuko coming into it's. They think they found Appa, but actually it was Zuko with that cut. I think that's one of the best moments of the show. Were you expecting someone else? I think that's so well written and presented. And then again at the end when Appa's freed, even though it's fast, it's incredible. Everything with getting into the catacombs, I think, is really great. And the Zuko's journey here is we're going to talk about. I think it's interesting. Oh yeah, and everything with Jet. I mean, this episode's jam packed. I think this and City of Walls and Secrets. It's like the two core episodes of the Ba Sing Se arc. Both move incredibly fast. Both are amazing episodes, and they're sandwiched between two experimental episodes where we could have just split like couldn't they could have split up City of Walls and Secrets and Lake Laogai over 4 episodes, and like there still would have been a lot happening. Instead, they just pack it into 2 episodes and also have two experimental episodes where they do some stuff but not as much as they could have done. Like it's pretty interesting. Like the Avatar, even in its second season, just kind of went in very ambitious directions here towards the end of the
well, it's
season.
really hard. It's really hard to imagine this season without Tales of Ba Sing Se and Appa's Lost Days. So like, we have like, like you're saying, the Cities of Walls and Secrets and like Laogai, and like how important this is to like the plot of the show and what they're doing. But then these other two episodes are also like just like so important. Like they're just so memorable.
Yeah. No, and they're certainly extremely memorable. And so I think in that regard, that's a good argument for it being the right decision because
Yeah.
divide these over 4 episodes. It's less even maybe it's better storytelling. It's less memorable. I agree, and you have these whole 2 installments of the show that are pretty iconic.
Also,
Personally,
it's kind of like thematic too, because we
mm,
kind of get that same effect here at the end of the Earth King. Like the last 10 minutes of the Earth King are like everything unraveling.
yes, I'll get to that. Maybe it's intentional. It's true. Anyway, even though I do think Lake Laogai and City Wild and Secrets much better than the two in between. They all have value in their own right and a lot of great stuff. That yeah, the Earth King, the ending is so fast. Like they just like
Awful.
throw everything in there at the end. I think for the most part, it's like less successful than the rest of the storytelling that happens around it, but it's a good point. Maybe it's fairly intentional. I do think Earth King I had thought of as like a good, not great episode originally, and I still think that way. But Jeff brings up a good point that the fight, and of course, this episode is infamous for, or not infamous, but like famous for having like the reverse structure where the big fight is in the beginning. They've talked about that. That's what they wanted to do
Yeah.
here. That fight was way more impressive than I remembered. It's really good. There's a ton of incredible animation and like I would have to go through my notes on it, but
It actually
um,
it has my favorite sequence. Like it's my favorite thing ever in the show is when Toph is walking and it's like these blades that go left and right.
Yes.
That's like my favorite thing. Like I love it.
the sequence that most stood out to me is like Aang and Toph make like a rock igloo, and then Aang and Katara
Yeah.
like freeze the moats. And then Toph
Yeah.
like undoes the steps and then they like slide up
Oh
the.
yeah, yeah, and then undoing the steps. Undoing the steps is wild. Like
It's such creative stuff happening here. Yeah, I did not remember how incredible this
I
really
also
was.
like it when she just launches them into the ceiling and they're stuck there. Like that's great.
You forget.
I love the
Yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead.
No, I love the surface to air missiles. Like, what?
Mm.
Why do they have those? And they're so awesome,
Like nothing flies. It's just Appa. Like
right?
we don't get the Zeppelins until later.
Yeah,
Like before this
that's new
form, like
technology.
last
Maybe
minute,
maybe they had an
last
intelligence
minute they're
report.
like, we need to create artillery to defeat the air bison.
Yeah,
Like, they
maybe it is just
they
for
make this
Appa.
up.
They've been living there for a while, so yeah,
Like
maybe they were
that's
preparing for Appa.
crazy.
That's a
Oh, they were
Also,
willing.
this
Like
funny.
they had these like really ornate giant stone sculptures at the top of those stairs, and they're just like, oh, let's just chuck them.
Let's skate them. Yeah, right. And then they just break. Like it's like really that's what like you're mad about your doors, but like this happened.
Yeah, we could go through even more, but and then I think that part of the episode's really great. I think the like convincing the Earth King about the situation. It's interesting. They play it kind of more humorous than serious.
Yeah, like the cheers.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
which is good.
yay,
I do love that
yeah.
moment. That like, and then they're like, we'll take it. I did like that. That brought up good memories. I do think it's like a little. It comes across a little silly. For after this like very serious in your face brainwashing plot, and then we kind of have this little goofy part with the Earth King. I'm sure it kind of thematically offsets itself, and there's some benefits there, but um, not as crazy about it as the rest of what's going on here. And then I forgot about, well, I want to get more into the Katang of it all, but the
Of course. Oh my god, I know. I started
the
yelling.
Aang attempted confession. I had forgotten about
Mhm.
this, and
Oh, I was like, and then she kisses him. I was like, oh my god.
we gotta talk about it. Oh yeah, and then this episode also has Zuko being sick and he's dreaming. Yeah. Well, I'll save my thoughts on the Zuko sickness. It's interesting, but the dragon's dream, I do think it's pretty iconic.
Mhm.
So there's
It's interesting to watch knowing like, because and again, I haven't watched like this part of the show as much as I've seen like let's say book 3. So it's really interesting to watch this knowing what happens and of course knowing that later we do encounter the dragons. Like the dragons are still alive, but then also like the decision Zuko ends up making. And so
Are those the same
it's
dragons
interesting.
as in the dream? Is this just a foreshadowing of dragons existing?
I think it's just a foreshadowing of the dragons and like they're tied to firebending.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because the
Yeah,
dragons
kind
are
of
literally
introducing
red.
the concept. Yeah, it's interesting. And this episode
But then
ends.
and of course
Any more dragon thoughts? I'm about to bring it to.
no, not really. It was
Okay.
just about like yeah.
So this episode ends with Zinfu and Master Yu coming back, which is
Oh,
big drop in this in the episode quality. I feel like whenever we get them
he
showing
walks
up,
in and I'm like, wait, that's that guy.
it's pretty ridiculous that they haven't appeared since the desert, and then they come in here. I remember that being maybe the worst handled plot of Avatar. I think it probably is. It's not super offensive. It's a pretty small part of Avatar, but it definitely stands out as not well integrated into the rest of the show.
It gives us like one of the best things ever though. So like
They're facilitating Toph metal bending to come.
yes, like because this scene of her figuring it out and then busting out is like and obviously me number one Toph stan.
Yeah.
Is like that's like so iconic.
Yeah, we will get to it.
And
So look,
like it's a vehicle for like something cool though. So
yeah, that's all they are, is a vehicle. So yeah, I think they're all good episodes. Like there's it's a little bit hard to talk about Lake Laogai and the Earth King without kind of talking about the finale, because I want to talk about Zuko's arc here. I want to talk about Katang. I want to talk about Bossing Say as a whole, but it's like you kind of need the ending to evaluate those. But there's going to be too much to get into in the finale, so I want to start the discussion here anyway. Because I feel like we have the brunt of all of these things. We have the majority. So, I mean, I think we've revisited Appa's Lost Days, at least my thoughts on. So that's Appa's Lost Days is one of the biggest when I'm doing my re-rankings, one of the biggest risers for sure. And I think I had it above the Earth King too. Although these episodes are hard to rank because there's great ends, meh in the Earth King. It's like, how do you even rank it? No,
Yeah.
I put Earth King above Appa's Lost Days. Looking at it, interesting. Um, let how about this? We've been talking about the bossing. Say, Jeff said bet one of the best 3 runs of episodes of the show. I think a good call. I mean, because again, originally I've always loved the Bossing Say arc. I thought this is like the peak quality of Avatar. Is this an opinion everyone else had? Some people, I would say. I think at the time, we're going to get more into this with book 3, but I think it's kind of important to communicate as we're doing this rewatch series. This was really beloved, book 2 and this ending of book 2, the finale, especially in comparison to book 3. I think like it was an experience watching book 3 live, and there was a lot of expectations. And I think book 3 has become more beloved than it maybe was at the time. Not that some people loved it, and this I'm not speaking for everyone, but there were like mixed feelings about the direction of book 3. Well, I'll set that up in the beginning of the book 3 rewatch. But I feel like everyone like absolutely loved the Bossing Say arc, loved the book 2 finale. So I feel like this could, in some ways, was seen as peak Avatar at the time. I feel like maybe like fans who watch now maybe do think a book 3 is even better than this. I'm sure there's mixed opinions, but definitely and I was just trying to set up expectations there. But for myself, I like absolutely adored the Bossing Say arc. Um, Jeff, yeah, you said best run of episodes. How about in rewatch? Is this for you the best part of Avatar now? Did you think of it that way at the time?
I think I really enjoyed some of the later episodes in season 3. Um, and I think the earlier part of season 2, if I remember. But I don't know. Upon rewatch, yeah, these are just classics. I get a lot of rewatch fun out of them. So,
Interesting. So this has risen for you in your
I
mind
think
on
so. Yeah.
rewatching. Delaney, how about you? I know you're a big book 3 fan.
Yes. So I am a really big book 3 fan, and I really I was growing up, I watched like I think they aired like the last 4 episodes. I remember watching the last 4 episodes of Avatar like, live. And I had been one of those people who had kind of fallen off, as you do as a child. And I had remembered watching book 2 like on Nickelodeon.com, and like so book 2 has never been like that big in my mind because that was my experience watching. And so for me, when I think about Avatar, what's really beloved to me is book 3, like all of book 3, especially like episodes like the headband and like early parts of book 3,
I can't wait for
and
the headband.
then lose my mind. And then honestly, like book 1, like when I think of Avatar, that's what I think of.
Okay, so originally
And
you weren't as much of a book 2 person. How about watching it back
no,
now?
now watching it now, I can really appreciate like what you've been saying. Like, oh, this is like, especially now as an adult, also like appreciating like the like what's going on, and like especially as someone who has grown up to become one. Like I really like mysteries and those kinds of stories, and like the conspiracy, and so watching it now, I'm like, wow, this is really good. And to think like, wow, this came out 20 years ago, and what they were doing in a quote unquote kids show. And they took Appa, and then like the Dai Li, like everything going on in the Earth King, like it's like, and also kind of like all these seeds they planted, and then we did get payoff kind of eventually in Korra, like, so that's kind of, I think that's what's interesting. And and of course I was older when I watched Korra, and so it's really interesting to watch that, like, to have seen all of it play out and then to come back and rewatch it and fully appreciate it.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, I was so into it at the time, and it's interesting. I was trying to think of this like my reaction now versus then. I don't think I am lower on the Bossing Say arc now. I think this has been amazing. Our rewatch has been a little bit disjointed because we've been stopping and starting. But
Yeah.
like looking at back at these episodes, City of Walls and Secrets, amazing. Lake Laogai, amazing. I'm appreciating things about the Earth King that I didn't. I like Appa's Lost Days even more. I think Tales of Bossing Say I even liked even more than originally. Um, Yes, I mean I don't know if it counts as Bossing Say, but Serpent's Pass
It's
was.
like when I think of book one, I think of more dips. In book two, it's like every
It's
episode
it's
is
it's
it's
extremely
like you said, it's
consistent.
all
It's
bangers.
extremely
Like
consistent,
it's
which I
just
which I thought at the time it's even more consistent than I remembered. I will say this: I'm not sure I would on this rewatch classify Bossing Say as peak Avatar from what I've
okay.
seen here, but not because it's worse than
Interesting.
I thought. I think I just appreciate book one and early book two more than I did originally. I think that's like, and we had the whole book one rewatch where I elaborated on my thoughts on this. But book one just so incredible at setting up the world and the characters. It's even better than I remembered. And honestly, like
Well, I mean, it's also like coming on, like, we get three finales. And it's so hard, like, and of course, I mean, we're about to go into another finale, and the book two finale, is like, oh my god, like it literally changes your life. But like book one finale, like to have done what it did, and then like keeps it propels the show,
yeah.
and it has
And
so
I've
many.
always been a book one finale person, as we talked about. I will
Right.
hold judgment until we see the book two finale because maybe I'll love it even more. But
Will I cry like a baby? Maybe. Will I throw something at the TV? Maybe.
in
Who
response to
knows?
anger at Zuko, anger at
But yeah,
Azula.
so Aang dying, and then me being mad at Zuko because he's stupid. And then that whole conversation, I'm going to be like, where Katara and Zuko are talking, I'm going to be going, ew, no, the whole
Oh yeah,
time.
we have to get more into Zutara. Oh man. Uh, well, we'll talk
Yes,
about Katang today to balance it. It's and it's
okay.
I think just the not I like the look the book two bangers are early and middle book two are as good as I remembered Zuko alone. Uh, City once we get here, City of Walls and Secrets. Let me pull up my episode ranking. Always handy for referencing this, but um Cave of Two Lovers, of course. But some of the other book two episodes
Duh.
were like Blind Bandit, incredible. Serpent's Pass, I thought was incredible this rewatch, like a big riser for me. Swamp, incredible. The Chase and Bitter Work were like I did
Oh,
not
the
appreciate them
chase.
enough at the time. They're incredible episodes. So I think it's just like less that I've like I'm lower on Bossing Say now. It's more just like really everything is good like in this show. So I think I appreciate the other aspects of Avatar even more so. So that's the response to younger
It's
Dylan.
also to go back and watch a show like this. They don't make TV like this anymore. And I don't mean that in like a crotchety old man way, even though I do,
Well,
but
this is
also, and they
Delaney. This is one of the
literally,
questions we're gonna be as considering we've done an
like, they,
animation podcast the past 10 years. Like, is
they literally don't make TV like this anymore. Like,
this just
you don't get
extended
20
run travel show with
you don't get 20 episodes that are like 28 minutes where they let stuff happen. Like it's just you get maybe 10 episodes and that's it. Period.
yeah.
That bothers me about modern
But
TV.
it's and sometimes it works. Like Carol at the End of the World, like some shows can do it, but like you just can't get a show like this anymore. And as we're talking, Dan Terrace's new show is out. The pilot is on YouTube.
Yeah, just one episode.
Just one,
I haven't watched yet. Okay,
I haven't watched it either.
nice deviation. Yeah. So anyway, that's my take on it. Is like other parts of Avatar incredible. In addition to Bossing Say, I'm not going to be such an Bossing Say only stan anymore. But that being said, I still generally would agree with Jeff's line of thinking of as kind of the best sequential Avatar you can find is in around this part of the show. Yeah. Any other last thoughts on Bossing Say arc? How about it's a tough one to talk about, but one of the big reactions I've been having, and we talked about this a little bit in the last one with City of Walls and Secrets, is kind of the political themes of Bossing Say and everything with the Dai Li, the brainwashing, how it's handled in terms of in 2006 when the episodes are made versus watching them now in 2025, 20 years later, almost 20 years
LOL.
later for this part. Their themes are going to play differently. And I reacted pretty differently here. I think this is the same thing I said last podcast, but I want to know if you guys agree. As a kid, I was like, "Oh my god, they're brainwashing them, conspiracy, they're covered." Like it's like it all like hit. It was like, wow. Like I don't know if I'd like seen something like this in this my type of show before, and it's like this is hard. This goes hard, Like this is,
Right.
it was incredible. And watching it now, I'm like it still goes goes hard. It's still like effective. It's just like very blunt and in your face. And at this point, it's like I've seen it a bunch now. I've seen it a
Right.
bunch probably because Avatar is like this like progenitor show, so a lot of shows have done this type of thing. But it's definitely less like as a kid, it feels so big, and now and watching it now, it's like okay, it's like fun and stuff, but it's not very subtle. It's like oh we're just brainwashing and there's not a lot of reason behind it and like explanation. I'm not like I don't think it's bad or anything. I just think it's like less that aspect at least is less impactful for me now.
I think it's actually confusing when if you like if I like to like like so like I think it makes more sense now with context of having like watched like a bajillion things like this. Like, because when you watch it, you're like, okay, what are they doing? And then it's like the really only indication that what's happening is like their pupils, and then they like, they say the phrase or whatever. And I don't think that's really that clear to like the 7-year-olds who are supposed to be watching Avatar at this time. Because it is like a 7Y show at this
I
point.
guess you were younger watching.
Then,
Where you remember if you were confused with what was going on?
I don't remember. So I know I was like 12 or something when like book 3 came out. And I was like, honestly younger. I don't know. I had a big fat crush on Zuko when I was 9 years old.
Don't remind us.
I know it's bad. I'm gay now. It's fine. But like when you watch it, you're like, obviously it makes sense to me. Like I know what's going on. They're like being hypnotized. We're doing this like, like indoctrinating, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Conditioning. And then they find Jet. And then like it literally just goes off of topping like, yeah, I can tell he's not lying. Either one of them are lying. And then it makes sense because it's Sokka, because Sokka's like supposedly the smart one. But then he's like, you've been brainwashed. And it's like, is this like, if they had thrown something in, like he read this in a weird comic book, that would make sense. We could live with that. But like we immediately go to, okay, we need to snap Jet out of it.
I think
Like, why do you know what's going on?
Yeah, we don't need to get too stuck on it, but it is a good point. Why do we know what brainwashing is? Is there any sort of maybe this is an existing concept in this world, but it's not established here or after?
Right. I do want to compare it though. You're talking about, oh, they didn't really do this in shows. The first thing that comes to mind for kind of the same era would be Codename Kids Next Door, when you find out like that number one's dad was like one of the first members of Codename. Like anyway, so there's kind of like this conspiracy in Codename Kids Next Door. So like there was some other show. Granted, that also makes more sense because of like the kind of show Codename Kids Next Door was, because like they're literally secret agents.
We're just pulling this out of nowhere.
Absolutely. There's going to be someone listening to this podcast and you're like, I know exactly what Delaney's talking about.
I love that show. I don't know the part you're talking about, but it did air at the same time as Avatar, apparently.
It did.
Anyway.
You had to get real deep in Codenames Kids Next Door. It's okay.
Jeff.
It sounds like Samurai Jack is a show that, as far as being a show that's more deep than you would think.
Yeah.
Interesting. Jeff, how about your reaction to this stuff now versus when you're younger?
I don't know. I don't think I was like, oh my gosh, like big. I don't remember being like blown away by it, either then or now. So I guess I'm boring that way.
Do you think did it come across too blunt, too in your face, watching it as an adult?
I guess there are a few rough edges, I will say. Like, for example, okay, the jig is up, like the king knows about the war. Now here comes the general, who the king evidently knows very well, and is just like, cool, what's going on? It's like, what relationship was there with the generals while this conspiracy?
I also had this reaction. Like the generals were also all in the dark, every single one of them. Like,
and the generals, and like even the Dai Li, when he goes to Long Feng, is like, yeah, we're still loyal to you though, but the generals are loyal to the Earth King. Okay, well, where have they been?
Yeah, I mean, I could see like the generals actually doing general stuff, but like being warned off
also,
by Long Feng, like, oh, don't talk about this.
Why do you need 5 generals when you're not at war?
Well, no, I think the generals knew they were at war and just weren't telling the king about it.
And then it's like,
the general's like, we found this stuff in Long Feng's office. I guess he could be lying, but he's presenting it as if he knew nothing about what was going on with Long Feng. It's
like
ultimately it's just very
interesting.
fast how it's all like, and it's not really
Yeah.
fleshed out. So I would agree about the Earth King side of it. Um, yeah. Anything else, Jeff, on your thoughts on this?
Let's see. No, I think I'm. It was compelling enough, but like I just don't doesn't like leave impressions. I guess not as much as the other things that happen in these episodes.
Yeah, and so I was like super into it when I was younger. I think it's still very compelling. I mean, the iconic part of like Laogai is like the Earth King's invited you to like Laogai, seeing all the Judies being brainwashed. I mean, these are
Yeah.
things that really stood out. That at the time, I think they're still pretty tentpole parts.
I agree. I think maybe I was talking more about like the political stuff, but the
I
whole
do
brainwash
want to
thing that was
say,
weird and interesting.
yeah, I do know, like, I do agree that, like, it's kind of like very blind, but then also in the world we live in, like, it makes a lot of sense. Like, actually, this happens.
What do you mean actually? People, there's Judies in our world? What
No,
do you mean
just
actually this happens?
just like I'm not like brainwashing, but like I guess kind of like the political intrigue and like how stupid it feels. Like that's actually happening right now. That's like
I
that's
guess
what I mean.
comparisons to current political intrigue, yeah.
Yes, that's what I
I thought
mean.
you were gonna be like brainwashing. That's what happens to our youth now when they get red pilled online. I thought that's where you're going with
Yeah,
this.
I mean that does happen. And then I mean there was I mean literally the CIA like they did experiments like that, but that's not what I was referring to.
So I think it's still effective though. It just stands out to me as more blunt. I will say coming into I don't know. I was just thinking about my thoughts on this. The stuff this isn't fully fleshed out thoughts, but this is one of the reactions I was having to Lake Laogai. I just felt weird about all the authoritarian part of Bossing Say. Now let me explain. I think it's like it comes across to me, maybe unfairly, but it comes across to me as like a satire of like China, like like modern. This is Beijing. I think I mentioned this last podcast, but it's like this is
Yes.
like authoritarian China. There's censorship. Um, obviously Avatar heavily Asian influence, so that's like why, and Ba Sing Se itself partly inspired by Beijing, so that's why it comes across this way to me. And then the next part is that it kind of feels disingenuous to me for this show at this time to be doing a China commentary, considering Avatar's like, we don't need to get too much into this, but Avatar is like so white at this time, like written by almost exclusively white people, voiced by mostly white people, which by the way really stands out to me the most. Again, we're not going to get super into it. When they bring in like a random side character, and the side character has the most Asian name, and then it's like a very Western white sounding person voicing them. Like that really comes across on this rewatch. It's like, oh, that's like,
Well, and then especially like we are now 20 years later and like living the current reality of
and
life
there's
and
different
like this
standards now, obviously, but
it does not play well.
it doesn't play well to me. Like the main characters you're used to, but then there's just like someone new comes in. It's like, why does this person sound like that? Like they just sound like it's like very clear that like a white person's voicing them. Now, interestingly, they do like change this in Korra like very soon after. Now the main characters in Korra still like voiced mostly by white people, but a lot of the like supporting characters are voiced by Asian people in Korra. So I feel like this is something they also maybe identified that they didn't like. But yeah, in Avatar, that stands out. But that's anyway. It comes across as disingenuous doing this like big China commentary, just given like how much America like this can be applied to as well. So I think maybe that
Yes.
stands out more now than at the time. But probably, I mean, at the time, there's this. It's not like there isn't this sort of thing, not like obviously brainwashing, but this sort of not like that blunt, but thematically this sort of thing happening, authoritarianness happening in America too. So it's like if it was more of a commentary on like America and the West, that would feel more appropriate to me given the state of who's making the show at this time. All of this being said, I don't think they're really intentionally trying to do this big China commentary. I don't think that's the point of this. I think that's just my interpretation. um, I don't think that this is supposed to be a satire of anything in particular of Ba Sing Se,
Right.
Dai Li,
Yeah.
brainwashing. I think they're just trying to tell a compelling story. It might be based on some historical things, but I think it's not supposed to be a satire of anything.
I think it's
Um,
kind of like a case of a bunch of mixed metaphors.
it is a lot of maybe a lot of mixed things, but then I think okay, it's not trying to be a satire of anything, so it kind of like then it kind of feels thematically empty to me. It's like oh, it's just like this brainwashing plot. It's just because it's cool. It's not supposed to be a commentary on our world or on any sort of country. So I don't know. I don't know what the intent was, but
Well, and then we also kind of lose it. Like we never come back to this.
it is a little interesting kind of one off for Avatar. That's the nature of a travel show. We just kind of go through things.
Right. And then but then you have to think about like the ramifications and like I mean granted I haven't gotten to that. I know the Earth King features and he's annoying in the comics, but I haven't gotten
I
to
forgot about that. He is in some, yeah.
that specific comic. So I don't know if they really address like okay, you're the Earth King and then it's like what does that mean? And then on top of that like there's been this campaign for literally like 100 years to pretend this isn't happening.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Those are I think it's expected that things will play differently 20 years later and also when you're older. So those are just some of my thoughts on how this plays now. I'm interested in like in Korra, how will some of the heavier stuff play, you know?
Right.
Um but I still love Bossing Say. I still love everything they're doing with the Daily, the
I mean,
brainwashing.
I still think they could have done a whole like they should still do a whole show in Bossing Say. Like the things we could do
Avatar
and like the
Studios could
stories
do
we could
a
tell.
limited series on the Dai Li, the rise of the power of the
But
Dai
yeah, well,
Li. Some
I mean, and just like we even get some of that. We they in the show we do talk about the the socioeconomic like the literal division within the city, and I think there's just so much stuff we could have done there.
yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to see more of this. Yeah, like this. How are the upper echelons of government functioning when
Mm.
you need to, keep this huge thing a secret? Like,
Yeah.
there's must be some conditioning program. When you bring refugees in, how do you keep word from spreading about the war? I don't get. Yeah,
Yeah, there's I agree. It's a ton of interest, and it's like this is the place where we spend the most time in Avatar out of any singular place,
Yeah.
and yet it still feels like we're just scratching the surface. Again, in part, I think because they spend their time elsewhere in some experimental episodes, but at the same time, it's like yeah, that does stand out to me this rewatch. I'm like, oh, this is the Bossing Say. It's the part where they dig their feet in. It's the part where they can explore storytelling the most. But really, this rewatch, it just feels like this is just as fast as the Northern Water Tribe was. There, we were only there for 3 episodes, but this feels in some ways just as fast as that. So that's interesting. I guess speaking of, because we're not getting back super much into the episode quality, but um, yeah, Delaney was mentioning some of the things that happen really fast or maybe unexpectedly in Lake Laogai. How they figure out that there's this whole conspiracy they're being tricked in with, like the janitor was part of the conspiracy. Like Jet Diley sent Jet here to mislead us. I was like, how do you know this? This is like you like 30 seconds. You've concluded. You've really
That's
figured
okay.
out
That's
this
the thing.
plot.
We spend a lot of time being stupid in the show, like,
They're
and that's
way
okay.
too
You have to
smart here.
tell. Yeah, that's like you have to tell us things. But then this, and I'm like, how did you figure that out?
Yeah, that was kind of wild. And
Like,
what's
did I figured it out because I've watched this before? But
I
like, how
remember
did you
initially
figure that
being
out?
like, I think Qatar was like ahead of me as a kid watching it. So I was like, I didn't know Old Sweepy was like a crisis actor or
Like a
whatever.
plan?
Like I didn't like
Yeah, like
I didn't. This is
well,
yeah. Go ahead.
I thought the Daily got to Old Sweepy and like brainwashed him.
Well, what Katara says is that the janitor was part of the plot. Now, yeah, they could have gotten there before and brainwashed him, or could have gotten there after, but like, the
Because like, wouldn't if they were a crisis actor, wouldn't Toph have caught on to that?
you would think. So I suspect we will find other parts of the show that we should have been able to tell the truth on with Toph.
oh, well, also that's the thing that what gets me is like that's just the thing. Like, think they did a really good job seeding this conspiracy, but then they solve it in 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, we could have, like, I
Yeah,
think we
okay.
could have spent a
I
little bit more
understand what
time
I understand
figuring
what
it
Jeff's saying.
out.
Jeff's saying he could have been an actor or like pretending, or he could have been brainwashed. Yeah, yeah. I think either way, it's kind of the same. The Diley sent him. By the way, I remember loving Old Sweepy, the janitor here. I
You
remember
would.
we did. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm making this up. We did Hurt Heal on the Dong Bufang forums, where you have a
It was
list
old
of
sweeping anime series.
for some reason, I don't. I think I might have put Old Sweepy on. Maybe we did a minor characters hurt heal, but anyway, hurt heals. You give a list of
That
characters. They have
sounds right.
they have like 10 health and then or 20 health, and then each person posts and I heal this character +1, I hurt this character -1, and then you post the standings again, and so you kind of just go over and over until one person wins at the end. And this was our favorite game on the Dong Bufeng forums.
I will say I spent a lot of time doing Legend of Korra Hurt Heal.
Appropriate with Delaney here because Delaney was the #1 Dong Bufeng forums poster.
Sergeant Nerd at Arms.
Great name. I feel like Toph, and so we talked about the character tournament in the past too, and how popular sentiment at the time, Toph and Iroh were kind of the most popular characters. In addition to, your Zuko's, Katara, Zangs, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like probably Toph won the most hurt heals. I think I was probably always healing Katara and Aang, so they probably won a lot. Of course. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I remember healing Old Sweepy. I don't know. I was like very tickled with Old Sweepy, his 2-second appearance in that episode. There's other stuff. I think they like find the Lake Laogai, the entrance, and they're in there, and then they like I think that all's just like very, very fast. But I don't know. I still think Lake Laogai iconic episode, like I said, with some of those moments.
So the problem with Lake Laogai is that Jet's in it, but then what's great is that he dies. So like it's rough. Like
let's talk about Jet. Let's talk about Jet's death before we get into our next big topic. So this is a big meme, I think, at the time. And then of course they're gonna parody.
I think it still is.
It's what? Still is.
I think it still is.
Yeah, it's like, it's very unclear. But so I'm trying to remember the fandom reaction to Jet's death, because I think we didn't know if he was dead, after season 2. Like
I will say, after watching the episode today, 20 years later, I'm still not sure he's dead.
It's so, and here's the wrinkle. Jeff, tell me if you remember any of this. Here's the wrinkle that I just remember debating at the time was, like, the last shot of Jet, we see his long shot pulls his bow out and he's like pointing it somewhere, and I think there was like his long shot about to put Jet out of his mercy and kill him.
Oh my god, like just puts him down.
Jeez. I think that was like a very prevailing theory, if not the prevailing theory on what was happening.
That is so funny.
That's weird.
They should have done that on camera.
I didn't think it then. I didn't think it.
I believe, if I'm remembering, I believe that is wrong. I think he is putting his bow up to fight the fight the incoming Daily agents. I think that's what that is. But like, I distinctly remember at the time, like, was he about to mercy kill Jet? Was like, this is a big topic.
Incredible.
We should find interviews with Mike and Brian, because I remember I'm pretty sure it's not true. But Jet, but also, like, did Jet die? Like, that was a big, like, we didn't really know.
So like when you watch it, like, you're like, did that really kill him? Like, it didn't seem like that bad. Like, I have seen worse things happen, and he's like, oh, the rock hit me.
And then the explanation is like, oh, the rock hit him at his vital organ or something. It was like a calculated blow, right?
Yeah, right, which is fine, but it's also like, and of course Katara's like, oh my god, this isn't good. And then they're like, well, we're just gonna leave you to die, bye.
Yeah, it's he'll be fine. He's lying. Yeah. So dramatic.
So dramatic.
Foolish boy, you've chosen your own demise.
It's like you just killed a child, dude. Like, geez.
I feel like I loved Long Feng at the time too. I was like so high on everything Ba Sing Se.
Literally, he's Zhao all over again. You would love him.
Yeah, but he's not campy like Zhao. That's the problem.
I mean, he's not fun like Zhao.
He's not fun. Zhao's fun. Yeah.
We don't get Long Feng yelling like at the moon. Like, it's not like
Zhao didn't.
He's not the Moon Slayer.
Long Feng didn't stand out to me as much this rewatch, but he is still a pretty great character. Appa like skips him into the lake, and then
best part of the episode is skipping him.
And then he's just fine. Wait, you would think that would kill someone if anything, not the rock, but no, he's fine next episode.
Also, okay, I think he would have lost a foot. Like, let's go through this. So, like, in How to Train Your Dragon, Toothless literally like rips Hiccup's leg off trying to save him, and you mean Appa didn't rip Long Feng's leg off? Toothless loves Hiccup, and if anyone had a reason to rip Long Feng's leg off, Appa did.
Why are you bringing up How to Train Your Dragon every podcast now? I feel like
the situation is similar. These are related.
It's similar. Yeah, I think there's a lot of I think Jet's death is one where if it was Korra, this would be a little more graphic. Like if they
Absolutely.
pull they're forced to pull their punches a fair amount. I think the Bossing say like it's pretty dark what's happening, and
I mean,
so
you're only referring to a show where we like literally blow people up on a boat, and then we also literally we watch Quay's like granddaughter like suffocates like live in HD.
yeah. Speaking of the Earth King, so that'll be fun to revisit.
Mm.
God.
We'll,
Mm.
we'll have stories about that. But
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. There's so much here. Okay, what was the next topic I wanted to get into here? How about Zuko's arc? I want to we'll end with Katang. It's because
that's good.
let me
That's a
set
good.
this one
That's a
up.
good call.
Zuko's redemption arc is seen as by many people at the time and shortly thereafter, even into overly animated. I probably cited it as the iconic, most incredible redemption arc of television history. This is the best arc in Avatar. This is the redemption arc that all can aspire to. I mean, I think Peridot and Steven Universe stands out as the other iconic one in recent animation memory. But Scarlemagne and Kipo maybe. But this like this,
Catra? Question mark.
catch. Yeah, catch. Yeah. That's another iconic
I
recent
would say
one.
Catra is probably the most comparable to Zuko in that Zuko and Catra are both kind of literally in the world.
They both come around in the last season. Yeah. So and I think Zuko's the inspiration for a lot of this stuff.
Absolutely.
But this was like so beloved, so beloved. I think almost universal approval rating on the Zuko redemption arc. We're not, we're just on the middle of it right now. So
Yeah.
we can't really judge the full length, but this is a very interesting part of the arc where Zuko has a literal sickness from his metamorphosis that he's ongoing. I think
He is
this,
literally so emo, it made him sick. It's crazy.
yeah. Jeff, anything stand out to you this rewatch or your thoughts on Zuko's going on right now?
Let's see. I thought it was interesting. I'm remembering back to how it was when I first saw it. I was like, okay, this is interesting. I wonder where they're going with this. I think it's some of the dragon visualizations are interesting from like a symbolism perspective. But and the dreams were interesting.
Yeah, we also in Lake Laogai we also have he's going out to take Appa, and then Iroh convinces him to kind of free Appa after a lot of speeches at
Also,
him.
he should thank Iroh because even though he was gonna, whatever he was gonna steal Appa, or whatever, Appa was gonna eat him. Like, I don't know what you thought was gonna happen in Zuko. Like, Appa was totally gonna eat you.
That was yes, it was. And that was
Okay.
that was an awesome part of the episode, was that conversation between Iroh and Zuko in the
Yes, when
dungeon.
Iroh's like, you don't think anything through, and it's like, yeah, you would have frozen to death. Appa would have eaten you.
I did really like that part. Not you talking about it in Northern Water Tribe, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Delaney, what do you think about Zuko here in these episodes?
So for me, part of it is, I'm watching it, and again, I can't help but be like, I'm mad at him because I know what happens next. And it's like, you stupid, like, you're so dumb, listen to Iroh. It's so funny, like, and this happens a lot with a lot of the shows we watch. Like, now I am like, almost 30 watching the show. And we watch these shows about young kids. And it's like, oh my God, listen to your mom. Oh my God, if you would just listen to your mom, we would like solve a lot of issues. And so it's like literally listen to Iroh. Like listen to Iroh. He's not. I know he's not. This is gonna take like 20 more episodes to resolve because he's stupid. So it's just funny. It's funny because when you watch it growing up, it's like, no, don't like, I'm not gonna listen to my mom. But now it's like, oh my God, like if you would just listen to Iroh, you stupid. But I think it's hard. I think it's hard. It's just one of those things, right now, I mean, we're in the middle of it. We're also, I mean, also this is the big hiccup, right? Like we think Zuko's going one way and this is where we're about to take a turn. So then it's hard to like, because right now, like this isn't, it's about to not be a redemption arc. Like we're not over the hump yet.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because we do a lot of things here. We have like, everything is starting to go wrong, and then everything's about to go really, really wrong. And then honestly, it's Zuko should just be thankful that Katara didn't straight up kill him at the Western Air Temple, because he would have deserved it.
Okay, we'll certainly get to that. Yeah, I think this is
Also, he's a little dramatic. Like he's
I
like, I
think
get the scar thing, but like having to like, I understand what it's symbolizing, but like it's really funny that he has this dream where he doesn't have the scar,
I
and it's
get the
like, dude,
scar
like it's
thing. I thought you
yeah,
were
like
talking
I
about
get it,
like
but it's also like you're
okay, you're talking
basic.
about the dream, but like it sounded like you're about to criticize him for having a scar. Like that's a little bit dramatic,
Right? No,
Zuko, to
that is
have a scar in the
not
first place.
that is not what I was talking about.
I
But
mean, it's
yeah,
a design choice. It's a TV show.
which, well, that is also the interesting part. Like that is, the scar is the physical manifestation of his shame, and then like, so it is interesting. Like it is about him having a scar, and he has to come to accept that, and then like
Yeah. Well,
mentally and like physically.
yeah. I mostly just wanted to set up the like incredible reception to the Zuko redemption arc, and we're gonna kind of see how it plays out here. But this is a part that I certainly beloved as a kid. I thought everything with his metamorphosis. I mean, I don't know if I love the dreams. I don't remember, but just this arc of him and like Laogai, and then it seems like he's gonna turn around and then reverts. I think I loved it all so much in these episodes. There's so much good stuff with him in like Laogai for sure, but the Iroh speeches, I did really like. Again, I did like the part where we like you don't think things through, but I think a lot of this is like Iroh just shouting stuff at Zuko very bluntly. Like it came across like I think
Yes.
it's a big. This is a big reaction to me versus how I thought. Just the bluntness, I think, of this part of the show. Like it's like the brainwashing comes across very blunt, not subtle. Iroh talks at Zuko very very blunt.
Well, up to this point, Iroh has generally been very gentle, and then this is where that changes. Like
Mm.
he's like, we have this. We're gonna have the conversation in the catacombs, and then later when he visits him in jail, like we're gonna have all of these things happen. Because finally, Iroh is like, I've been trying to help you like your whole life, and like you're an idiot, and you don't listen to me, and he's finally like, I'm fed up with you.
Is it a hot take to say Iroh should have handled things better? That maybe being very hands off and then coming across so strong here was not the way to get through to him?
I don't think it's a hot take, but then at the same time, I don't really know if it would have mattered what Iroh did, because and it's kind of also my like Zuko is at this point, and I mean Zuko is very self-centered, and this is how he grew up. He grew up the prince of the Fire Nation, and then everything is about all these horrible things have happened to him, and and he like, and obviously it's horrible that his dad did that. Like, oh my god, we hate Ozai, but then like that is kind of part of it. Is like, later Zuko starts to take responsibility for his actions, and like that his actions have consequences and impact other people, like his uncle. And then also, eventually recognizing like that when Zuko left, like his uncle was banished too. Like, Iroh gave up his life to go to take care of Zuko. And then to like, so I think it's one of those like Iroh probably could have done it better, but I don't really think it would have made an impact, because at this point, Zuko is so self-centered and so focused on, if he can do this, everything will be fixed. And there's nothing Iroh could have done to deter him.
I do think the perspective the show is trying to get across is like Zuko has to go through this to come out on the other side.
Right.
Like he's gonna have to
Yes.
take this negative this one step back to go two steps forward. Like I think that's what they're going for here, regardless of how
Like,
I
do I think Aang had to die for this to happen? No. But
I mean,
I do think
look,
there's
look,
something
we'll be
Iroh could have done.
a lot to blame for Zuko, but it's the Zula who does it, So I think
That is true. No, I mean, obviously. But, like, Zuko is like,
kind of
he
his.
doesn't hurt it.
Well, it's not just he doesn't hurt it. It's kind of his fault, but it is Azul who does the deed.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Look again, we'll get to it in five. But anyway, I guess like I've been really impressed with Zuko alone. I thought it was incredible Zuko's arc. Some of the stuff in Bitter work with Zuko. So I think his arc in season 2 has been in the premiere too as well with of the season. I think his arc's been great to this point. I think I'm a little bit less in love with him and Iroh in these 2 episodes than I was previously, but it is still a lot of good stuff. And like I said, the moment of expecting someone else is amazing. I don't know if that's part of his arc, but it's so dramatically presented. And then just the like, oh, actually he frees him after all, after everything with Iroh. So there's incredible stuff. I think I've never been in love with the dreams. If I had to remember what I said on the original podcast, I think in general I'm not like a dreams and TV shows person. But
To be fair, I do think the dreams in Avatar are a bit on the nose. Granted, the best dream ever is, or I don't even know if it's a dream. It's then like when Aang is like sleep deprived, hallucinating. Those are great.
Nightmares and daydreams.
Yeah, so good.
We'll
Those
get to.
excellent.
I do think, but on the nose, I think the dreams are on the nose. I think I maybe appreciated them a little more this time. That being said, yeah, the big reaction to all of the events of the Bossing saga is it's very on the nose. Not that that's a bad thing, but that's.
And then also you have to bring up Zuko's mom, which like never gets resolved ever.
Oh yeah, we do. We see her here in the dream, right?
Okay, like we're just gonna keep bringing that up. We even bring it up when the Azula goes crazy, and then we do literally nothing with it.
Yeah, good follow up there to Zuko alone. Yeah. Okay, so we will continue to talk about the Zuko arc next episode. Any last thoughts there before we get into Katang? Okay, let's talk once again through Katang. As now I want to get into it even more now because there's a Zutara discussion to come. Unfortunately. Yes. So I did not remember the attempted confession by Aang in The Earth King, but once I watched it, I'm like, oh, this is a little bit of an infamous scene. I think to Katangers. Like I think this is. If I had to remember,
it's just so overshadowed by Day of Black Sun.
Well, it's the prologue to Day of Black Sun. If I could remember, and maybe once Allie's on again, we'll jog our memories on this because Allie would remember. I think this is like maybe not a beloved Katang scene. I mean, it's still Katang. It's amazing. It's like amazing in that regard. But I my main reaction rewatching it is like, oh, this really comes out of nowhere. This is just like very random. This Aang attempted confession at the end of the episode, and I feel like that was probably our opinion at the time, if I had to remember.
I mean, I don't think it's out of nowhere in like the context of like previous episodes we've had. Aang is like mooning over Katara.
Well, yes, and so I do want to. Yeah, talk about so here's what I want to set up, Delaney. This is something we've talked about many a time on the podcast, is the legacy of Katang went recently in animation. I mean, I think Katang's thought of as a great romance and an amazing iconic ship. That being said, many times we've referenced recently on Overly Animated that compared to some more modern ships, romance arcs in modern animated shows similar to Avatar, Lumity in the Owl House, Marinette and Adrian in Miraculous Ladybug, they're just given so much more room to breathe and things to do, and it's much more of a cohesive arc. And Katang kind of compares unfavorably to a lot of these shows that just give their romance plots a lot more to do and a lot more cohesiveness. It's something we've said is, Delaney, right? Is like Katang is iconic, but not necessarily the best ship of all time in terms of like quality.
Yes.
Right.
And
so,
I do think it's like this very traditional, like, we're going to save the day and get the girl.
Yes. And it's a little bit in the background. That being said, and I thought, oh, they didn't do enough with it. That's what I've said on recent Overly Animated. I have to say, I'm going to a little bit mea culpa on this opinion because I think upon rewatch of season 2, especially, there's a lot more Katang interwoven throughout the story than I remembered. Now, I still think this confession here is pretty blunt and sudden. But like Delaney said, there's really a lot that they throw in there kind of constantly. I especially love how we're going to connect the events of Aang's emotions in the Serpent's Pass, his feelings about Appa. He expresses how he feels about Appa, he feels about Katara, to what's to come next episode in the Guru with, so again, one of many things that the discussion will continue, but how can I let go of Katara? I love her, which I've not seen.
And then arguably the next episode is like, or the next 2 episodes are like the most Katang, only rivaled by them literally kissing at the end of the show.
Thematically very rich Katang and interwoven into the main plot of the show. And like I'm more impressed upon rewatch of this Aang's emotions arc, how it plays into Katara. It's very Aang centered, but like, yeah, I mean, it's the show. And it's I've loved this, like going from Serpent's Pass, and there's these little Katang moments in City of Walls and Secrets, and now in Lake Laogai. There's a few nice Katang moments. I think there's Aang reacting. Maybe you should kiss him. That's hey, just an idea. A bad one, says Aang. And then there's
Yeah, yeah.
Aang's like puts his hand on Katara's shoulder, and then they all do a group hug. And there's a lot of great little moments here, I think, leading up to it. And yeah, I'm thematically impressed, I think, with what's going on with Aang's feelings for Katara here in book 2, more than I remember. And I think there are a lot more little Katang moments. There's more before this as well that I haven't mentioned. Yeah, Delaney, what do you think? I feel like I've been too harsh on Katang in terms of, oh, it's not that great of a ship. I actually think it's been pretty well presented here on this rewatch.
And I think that's the thing. Like, we don't like, unlike some more modern shows like Steven Universe and Star versus the Forces of Evil and The Owl House, where like there are specific episodes we can point to. In Avatar, and I think that's kind of like the beauty of Katang and with Avatar, and and Mike and Brian have said that Katara and Aang, like their love story, is very much the DNA of the show. Is that when you go back, yeah, maybe there's not necessarily certain episodes, but there are big moments and little moments throughout. Like it is like throughout the entire show, and it's very much. And when you think about it, I mean, that's more natural, really. Like that's really like that's a love story. And and to do it in this format, this is a travel log. There is a lot going on. We have this big moment right before they're all about to be separated, and it makes a lot of sense. And so I do think, and I mean, there's moments we forget about. Both me and you both forgot about this, and I think that's kind of the beauty of it. Like, yeah, okay, there's Tale of Two Lovers. Then there's Aang makes her a necklace. There's the fortune teller. There's always little bits and pieces woven throughout. And I think that's kind of what makes Katang so compelling versus some, maybe some other, like give and take. I'm not saying Katang's better than Lumity. Like, I'm not saying that. But like, okay, yeah, well, we'll look at like the Grudgeby match versus like, well, Lumity didn't exist until like season 2. Like, which again, that's a very interesting story arc that they do. I mean, I love it. Like, it's great.
It existed in season 1, but in a much more, towards the end. But yeah, it's what you're saying. It's a big strength of Katang. It's start to finish of the show, interwoven in small manners throughout the entire show.
We get Katang episode, like you can watch Katang episode 1.
Day 1 Katang shipper. Aang was a day 1 Katang shipper, right from episode 1.
And then he gets to the end of the show. Like, and also what I think what makes it compelling is like, unlike some of these more modern shows, I would say the most comparable would be Ruby and Sapphire, actually, would be like Aang and Katara, like it's not all smooth sailing. Like we get these big hiccups in book 3.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think Stephen and Connie, kind of a similar presentation. I think this is better than Stephen and Connie.
I would say, I mean, specifically in Steven Universe Teacher, Jesus Christ, I still get like heart palpitations thinking about that. Oh my god.
Yeah, Jeff, any thoughts on Katang around this time in the show?
Let's see. It has been a minute since I've actually watched the show, so don't have a lot of it in my head. I'm just going to comment pretty small, just on the scene itself that showed up. I just thought it was funny how Katara's like this very annoyed expression to Sokka makes you wonder if she like kind of thought something. But anyways,
I feel like there was probably a lot of debate about that, Jeff. Right? You were adjacent to all this Katang community at the time, I think. So it's like I think we're what's Katara's reaction here? I mean, because we're at the point of the show now where we were in real time like debating all this right after this happened.
Oh yeah, when in Cave of Two Lovers, I busted out the graphing calculator and did the math. I'm like, okay, where were their lips at 1.7
Yeah, that's what we talked about at the time. We made a post on it. Yeah, you and me.
Yes.
And then this was after that, but that was still a hot topic. And I think this was probably Qatar's reaction to this because so what happens is Qatar, I need to tell you something. I'm waiting to say it for a long time. And he blushes. Then Sokka interjects. And then Katara hugs Aang and kisses him on the cheek. And it's like, oh, what does this mean? What does Katara's reaction mean here? You know?
And this is the second cheek kiss.
It may mean something. You
would
think
were on, because the other one they were on Appa.
You would think at the very least Katara understands to some extent what's happening, but I don't know. I have to get more in the weeds to get back into this headspace of debating Katara's reaction. I think Katara's reaction definitely like a big thing at the time amongst all of us, and obviously the shipping wars.
I will say that does make things more bearable to watch. I do like rewatching things, and then I'm like, haha, I know what happens.
We know we were right. At the end,
yes.
Sokka and Aang's like, yeah, girls are waiting for us. Thanks, positive attitude.
I wish Sokka would have said something to be like, what? Like,
yeah,
what do you mean?
Why? Like, where's your reaction, Sokka, to that?
Which, that's what I wanted, because I'm like, that's what we need. But
yeah,
Sokka's like, nothing bad's gonna happen ever again.
I wanted to hit him. I was like, Sokka.
And that's the show being blunt in like an intentionally ironic way. So
absolutely,
I like that.
And to literally make anyone to die like in the next 10 minutes. Yes.
I kind of like, I don't know, the bluntness of Avatar. I feel like I didn't think of it as such a blunt show, and there's obviously I didn't obviously there's subtleness, but like I feel like because it's so blunt, that's kind of part of why it's iconic. Like it's like. Yes. It's like this kind of straightforward and in some ways like very dramatic, very overt type of like that stands out in your mind, like stands out as iconic.
Well,
I think
also again for like this is a Y7 show to everything that it accomplishes, everything that goes on, and it doesn't sugarcoat it. Like you're like, this is what the show is about. Like,
yeah, I do think being clear with its themes is a strength.
Like we're about to watch Aang get killed, like in next.
Well,
next
I don't know.
episode.
I don't know how clear it was with the fact that he died, if he died or not, before and brought back to life. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, I don't know. Was there any other things I wanted to say with Katang?
Oh, I just wanted to say about the bluntness was that when they're like, "Oh yeah, we love the Kyoshi warriors," and the whole time screaming.
Yeah.
I will honor them, and I'm like, oh, like just yelling the whole time.
It's like, we're not gonna ID check them. I guess there's no IDs, or we're not gonna.
And they wear makeup. Oh, I'm just screaming
makeup
the whole time.
Just disguises everything, I guess.
Oh, screaming. Yeah. And they never because they don't actually cross paths because they're all gone by it's so horrible. So bad.
It's bad, and it's very quick at the end. It makes it. I feel like if it was a little bit slower. I mean, it's like it's intentionally frustrating that they're paths didn't cross, but it doesn't feel necessarily earned because they take off so quick, and it's not like, oh, this is just how the story was going. It's like, oh, well, you're just doing things at the end of the episode. Like they could have taken off later. Like it doesn't, I didn't really get a sense of what the timeline was here. Anyway, I think I'm even appreciating Katang more somehow. If you thought I couldn't be more of a cat anger than originally.
No, it does. It makes me while we're watching it, like I'm like, oh my god, I'm still getting the warm fuzzies.
It's all really it's cute and thematically. Like, I think
I have watched your grandchild like get her arrows, and I'm crying right now. Like, and I'm like, it's like when I make Sims and then I'm like marrying the children off. Like that's what's happening right now. Like I'm like, oh my god, they're still the best. Like the OG. This is like, it's great.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, I think that scene could have been set up better, but it's still great on its own. And I don't know. Maybe we'll talk more about the Katara's. What did Katara think in the shipping drama with that? That was such a big thing. What haven't we talked about here, Jeff? Was there things we haven't gotten into yet you want to bring up?
I think that there is a vast underground network of conveyor belts in Ba Sing Se or something, because it's like Long Fang and his guys get around way too fast.
Also, when you think like we do a lot of flipping, right? So like we do a lot of like, oh, we're flipping the ground, we're somewhere else right now. Like, you got to know you're going somewhere, right? Like,
Yeah.
or are we,
That's
Almost
true.
or are
have to.
There's
we
a lot of
like,
well, we know there's the
or are
the
we
catacombs, but yeah, they must.
right? So, well, like,
Jeff,
is
are
it
you
all
referring to
limestone?
are you referring to like they get to the back to Lake Laogai and it's the entrance is gone and it's like, wow, how did you all do this so fast?
Well, there's that. They made it to the wall.
Yeah, the
Like they
wall
beat
too.
Appa
Yeah,
flying.
Yeah,
They got word everywhere. There must be a signal network, but also they're moving people around. So
I think you're
I
right.
ca- I can imagine earthbending magic just, but it
I like
was
that.
it'd probably be cool to watch.
Like, yeah, they should have shown it. They have like earth bending powered golf carts running through the catacombs.
I
That's
mean, it's
actually
like
Exactly.
neat.
it's like Disney World. Like, there's like all these tunnels.
I mean, maybe it's like mine carts. Like that might make
Ooh,
sense.
that's smart. Yeah, I like that.
I do like when we
I will
got.
say,
Go ahead. You'll say
I
what?
just know I just enjoyed the visual of earthbending golf carts. That's all I
Earthbending golf
wanted to
carts,
say.
yeah. I guess mine carts
Yeah.
is what that is. When they get to the catacombs in Lake Laogai, I'm like, okay, here's the iconic crystals we're gonna see in the finale. But really, it's we see them here. Uh,
I mean, I
Delaney.
do think, that we could be like this limestone, like, it could be like there's this vast cave network.
I think the intention is there's catacombs running all through the city. To what extent, it's a little unclear. Again, it's like we spend so much time here relative to other places. Yet there's this whole thing that we could have gotten a lot more into. I mean, we'll see because I remember Aang and I are walking through the catacombs for a while coming up here. So maybe we'll have more insight on that. Delaney, what haven't we talked about that you wanted to get into?
Toph did make some really great blind jokes. Also, she hands off the letter. She's like,
Yeah, do we want to go through Toph's blind jokes again?
and then, well, the best blind joke is, what, you don't think I can put up posters?
Oh, and then it's upside down. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
It's not
Well,
even, yeah, it's so good.
it looks
She's like,
just
it's
like
upside
him
down.
to me. Why do you feel the need to do that? Yeah.
It's so
Um,
funny. Like, and then that joke comes back. Like, it's so good.
yeah,
Like,
there's
at
a
the
lot of
end,
them.
where
There's
it's
a lot of
so
they
good.
put a lot of. Oh yeah, and we also have Tophs. Yeah,
It's
let's
great.
break some rules, and then busting up the side of the house. And
Yeah, just for no reason. Like, it's, ugh. And then lots. Oh, and then when they're riding Appa, and she's like, "This is horrible." She's like, "Why can't we please get a new saddle?"
I did
Also,
I
like,
did like her
that has to be specially
commiserating
made,
with
right? Like,
the saddle.
yeah, like, you think they just have these giant saddles you can just buy anywhere?
I mean, I don't think you have to make everything at that time. But I guess they
You
can't
think
buy
there's a
it from a.
factory for like giant
They
saddles?
can't buy. I mean, I'm saying there's not a factory for most things, but they yeah. Did they refine Appa saddle or did they make a new one? It's true.
Yeah,
Again, maybe
like,
we'll
what?
find out next episode. But yeah, I did like Toph commiserating with the Earth King on the flying. That was good.
She's like, "Yeah, I hate it. It's great."
There's a lot of great Toph stuff in here. Let's keep this in mind as we're starting to think about the MVP of the season for the finale. This is we'll have to award the MVP. I think Toph's a big contender.
Always.
Well, it's the
Honestly, I think
first
Sokka.
time she's eligible. Delaney, she wasn't in the previous
Honestly, I
season.
think Sokka. I mean, Sokka's kind of up there.
Sokka. Okay, well look, we'll save these takes. Um, there's a
Well,
lot
it's
of
kind
great
of okay.
Sokka
The problem
moments.
with this is like when we do like Ladybug, or when we do like, it's like, well, I don't remember what award we do for the ovas, but it's like,
Yeah,
it's
best
always
character.
Marinette. It's best character. It's like, it's always Marinette. So like for Avatar, it's like, it's literally always Katara. Like, I don't know. Like, this is hard.
Well, Katara won in book one, but I think Katara is definitely not going to win this season. We'll talk more about it. I already said that earlier. I think
Okay.
Toph undercuts a lot of what Katara is doing here, but it's great in her own right. But yeah, the Toph, a lot of the lying stuff going on. But yeah, there's a lot that just comes out. Oh, here's one. Jet's flashbacks to younger Jet. I'm like, oh, I didn't remember this. I didn't remember that was in there.
And then
Um,
the fearsome foursome guy.
Yeah, and
Whatever
it
his
was
name.
the rough rhinos were the
That's
ones
it.
who
Yeah.
who burnt down his hometown. That was a big reveal too.
Yeah.
I will say, like, a lot of that footage, and then just also the fight scenes in these episodes were great fodder when I was making Avatar music videos.
Of course.
For definitely, yeah, a lot of great iconic AMV scenes in these episodes.
I mean, the number one scene is in like the next two episodes. But
Okay, we'll see. We'll get there. I mean, I feel like the number one AMV scene is probably the Agni Kai and Book 3 for
No,
me.
it's definitely Katara holding Aang. It's definitely that one.
I mean, it depends what type of AMVs you're
I was thinking
watching.
which
For
AMV.
the
I am
AMVs that
obviously
we're
watching the
watching are different.
Katang AMVs. I'm watching the Katang AMV. Speaking of which, I made sure to add Every Time We Touch to my Spotify playlist because that is
Good.
the Katang song
That's
to
the
every AMV I've
I
ever
agree.
seen.
That's the the most iconic Katang AMV is Every Time We Touch. It's set to. Yeah. I'll always think of, not that that song comes up a lot in 2025, but I always think of it with that song.
No, it's on my playlist, and I listen to it, and I think of Katang. Like
Of
that's it.
course.
That's all.
I agree.
Are we still doing like Hidden Zutara?
Okay, do you have a hidden Zutara, Jeff, from these episodes?
I think I have a Hidden Zutara.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I credit Mel to being the
Yes.
the
The
chief.
originator.
Yeah, the originator. So, a lowly follower, but Zuko had this part of himself that he held on to for so long, this mask, and he gave
I
it
hate you.
as a water.
Oh, he threw it into the water.
So
Oh my god.
irritating.
That's
Oh
a
my
great one.
God. Oh god,
That's so
it's
intentional.
annoying.
It's late. It's a whole
That might
episode
be
centered
the
around a
most
lake.
hidden. That might be the most
Mhm.
hidden Zutara. I like.
But it's really, but it's like that's the type of really good hidden Zutara, because that's like exactly the type of thing they would do. They would say.
Mel is clapping right now. Mel doesn't know why, but like Mel's like, oh my god.
It's it's a part of it. It's a symbol of himself, and he casts it
Oh,
into the
this
water.
is
Oh my
so
goodness. Oh
irritating.
my goodness. Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Taking off his mask.
Yeah.
Jesus
Just like how he's gonna
Christ.
take
So many
off
layers.
take off the
Hate it.
barriers to his heart, to Zutara.
Like,
You know,
what do I
to-
hate more? Do I hate hidden Zutara or Luca more? It's hard to say.
no one knows. No one understands. You obviously real Zutara hate more than any of the. But there's no
Well,
real
it's because
Zutara.
real
That's the thing.
Zutara isn't real. It's because there
It's
is
true.
no
It's true.
Zutara.
It's true. I'll okay. We're getting people. We're gonna get the angry comments if we bash Zutara
They
too
can
much.
be mad.
Be bad. Okay, thank you, Jeff, for that.
They can be mad. That's my official stance.
Okay, I'm just gonna go through other things I had highlighted. Appa's last days, we see flashbacks to baby Appa at the
So cute, cry.
Eastern Air, and then Aang choosing Appa, feeding him the apple. I
Oh,
guess
my
that means
wife
we'll
was like
always be
freaking
together.
out during this scene. Like my wife was like, "Oh my god!"
Right, I didn't
She was
remember
like,
that.
"Baby Air Bison."
I know, and well, the iconic baby Air Bison is to come. Oh, I guess this was
I
the
know.
iconic, but in
We didn't even know it was a possibility. That
in the
we
core
like,
episode.
crazy.
Suki versus Zula, good fight, but then it ends ambiguously with the like splash screen is how I describe it now. It's
Yeah.
Which was like the second time in this season that they used that, right?
What was the other time?
First one was when they took away Jet, or when Jet like attacked Zuko for the first time.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I have to go back to that. But
Dylan's like, "Sure, Jan."
look, it's the problem with spacing these out. But yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't remember this, but yeah, it's kind of iconically ambiguous left here. It's not like Avatar
A lot of
does
ambiguity this season. We're like,
not like Avatar does like stylisticness that much, I guess. So it's kind of an interesting visual way to stop it there. But I think it's effective. And then we see the Eastern Air Temple for the first time with Patik.
yeah.
And again, this is another like very animal part of it. Patik like dealing with the traumatized animal by kind of leaving them be until they're calmed down. I think
I like
that's
that.
good stuff.
I like that a lot.
I get flashbacks to Nausicaa Miyazaki movie with Nausicaa
Yes.
and the feral squirrel.
The best
squirrel.
one, for the record.
The what?
It's the best movie.
Okay. Yes. Well, you can listen to our Ghibli rewatch series, and Nausicaa's dealing with the Ohms as well. Maybe an influence. Miyazaki's always an influence to Avatar, but yeah, good Patik introduction. I didn't necessarily remember that either. Well, going through my notes here, yeah, the rough rhinos, we talked about that. The long shot with the bow. I was just getting flashbacks to these debates, like him drawing the bow. Oh my goodness.
So funny. I wasn't aware of this, but I'm not shocked.
It's good stuff. Yeah, have all the stuff at the end of the Earth King. So Longfeng in prison, we referenced that. The Dai Li remain loyal to him. I don't remember to what extent he comes back in the finale, so this is going to be a surprise to me, if at all. So that'll be
Azula takes over.
okay. Azula takes over the Dai Li. Does Long Feng come back? Toph is
Don't
trapped in the metal by Zinfu and Master Yu, and then Azula comes in
cry.
as the Kyoshi warriors. Very very cruel with the letter from mom
It's
to
so mean.
it's pretty screwed up.
Yeah,
Like she's like a very young child.
it's messed up. And they're just greedy. Like they just suck. They suck.
Okay, there you go. So this
But it's okay.
is
They do get their comeuppance though. So
yeah. I don't remember exactly what Toph's gonna do. So let's see. I'm
I
sure
could tell
Delaney's.
you.
I'm sure Delaney's like I have this played out in my
Oh, I know
head.
exactly everything that happens. It's great.
Well, it's like me with the, I just cited that. Why would I let go of Katara? I love her line. Like it's like
Yeah.
I remember the important parts, of course.
Yes.
Jeff, any other things you're thinking of or final thoughts here on these 3 episodes?
I think I'll just say my favorite scene, or no, okay, I don't know if that's my favorite scene, but like my favorite ending scene of them is when Aang and Appa reunited, and he's just like, "I missed you, buddy."
And then it's just like the little
Mhm.
tear. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
So good.
Okay, I do think top moment from these 3 episodes is definitely when Appa like skips Long Feng. That's the best thing that happens.
Abba, he comes out and he crashes the rock walls that are up there too.
Yes.
Hmm.
It's
good.
so good. And then
It's good
it's
stuff.
so good because Long Feng's like, I'll handle you myself. And Appa's like, yeet.
Yeet.
Yep.
That's what we said in 2006. Yeet.
Yeet.
Delaney, final thoughts here.
Katang 5 ever.
Yes, always a final thought. Jeff, any other last moments to highlight on your end?
No, I think it's good. It's been a
Okay.
great run of episodes.
Yeah. And we'll continue with the book 2 finale coming up here on our rewatch, so it's very exciting. Yes, what do I say at the end of these? I don't remember. You can find all of these at overlyanimated.com and leave a comment if you're listening now or in the future. We'd love to hear from you. And as always with Overly Animated, you can support us at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Carter. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, Steve, Michael, and Phoenician. Check out other stuff at overlyanimated.com, including Miraculous Ladybug coverage. We did a Bluey podcast.
It's great. Love Bluey.
And yeah, more Ladybug coming up, and hopefully the book 2 finale coming soon. I know there's Seven Havens news, the upcoming Avatar
Oh
show.
yeah.
I would say just check out me and Delaney's reaction podcast that from February. We covered most of the current information about Seven Havens. They had a new image, but other than that, it was basically the same stuff that's out there. So you can still hear. But I'd love to do another speculation podcast on Seven Havens at some point. So it's should be interesting. We're still waiting for Avatar Studios content here in September 2025. About a year out from the movie. A little bit more than that.
And then at some point we're getting more of the live action.
Oh yeah, well that'll be sooner probably than the movie. It'll
Oh
probably
yeah.
be next year, probably early next year. Yeah, so maybe we'll cover that if people are up for it again. I
Also,
think
it's crazy. It's 2025 and like there's like Avatar Comic Con. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that we had Comic Con and Mike and Brian were at Comic Con. I was like, wow, this is 10, 15 years ago. Mike and Brian at Comic Con talking
I
about
remember
Avatar.
like I remember having to like be on my phone all day because like it's like Comic Con, like it's like 10 years ago. It's ridiculous. Like absolutely
You
ridiculous.
need to get all the news. I don't remember where did we get the news from because there wasn't like social media in the same.
I don't
thing.
know. I don't know. I mean, was it YouTube? I don't remember.
Well,
Oh
one year we
God.
had, I probably talked about it, but one year we had Ben, sorry, I'm blanking on his, not Kevin go to Comic Con for us and record these videos. I think I've mentioned this that are still up there somewhere. But yeah, we had like Kevin made professionally made Kevin Copa videos from Comic Con one day for dongwufeng.net. Those were great. And obviously his puppet bending is what he's known for. So we can get more into that. But
Allie has gotten, is trying to get into the Janet panel.
yeah, there's going to be more at New York Comic Con. They're going to be again. So they're starting to do the whole circuit again with
Wild.
Coming up to Avatar Studios. It is wild that this is all happening again. Not that there has been even one still from the upcoming movie yet, so we'll see how real it is. But it's coming. What are we ending on today?
Oh.
Yeet.
Yeet.
And imagine Appa yeeting long
Yes.
when you hear us say yeet. Okay,
like
thank
Appa
you.
yeeted before yeet was a thing. It's incredible.
Yes, I mean, I think yes. So thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time. 1, 2, 3, yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet.